Organized gang stalking methods and tactics that these organized stalking and harassment groups use on targets. Following the target closely. Boxing up target's vehicle in on the road, done with 3 or more vehicles surrounding a target's vehicle while on the road in attempt to control their speed, similar to or cloning FBI floating box system. Positioning long lines of traffic in front of the target's route. Driving at slow speeds in front of the target. Cutting off the target while on the road. Tailgating the target's vehicle. Shining high beams on the target's vehicle from side roads. Pulling forward while setting on side streets, acting as if they are going to pull their vehicle out in front of you. Making gestures at the target while on the road. This can include individuals holding their arms out of their vehicle windows in an unnatural position, or giving the target the finger. Attempting to run the target off the road. Driving by a target's house at fast speed. Driving by a target's house fishtailing, or burning tires. Revving engine loudly by a target's home. Organized stalking vehicle methods. Vehicles driving in convoys. Members of these groups lined up in convoys along a target's route. Using many vehicles of the same color, such as using several red vehicles around a target, or driving many vehicles of the same color by a target's house. Members of these stalking and harassment groups intentionally passing the other member's vehicle by or around the target's home. This is a psychological tactic that is used to make the target sound mental or insane if the target complains of this type of harassment. Members' vehicles with certain logos or stickers used to identify the group. Vehicles with drive-out tags. Vehicles with no tags. Vehicles with vanity plates, very common within these groups. Vehicles with one headlight on and the other headlight off. Vehicles with turn signal on while driving by a target while on the road. Flashing turn signal on and off at the target while on the road. Vehicles with one headlight that is brighter than the other headlight. Sometimes rigged or controllable headlights that can be turned up into a spotlight to bright the target on the road. Vehicles with extremely loud mufflers that is used to harass a target. Vehicles with intentional squeaky parts such as squeaky fan belts and squeaky brakes used as harassment and to sensitize the target to these noises. Devices that are given to members of these groups to put on their vehicles that make their vehicles sound to have very loud squeaky brakes used as harassment. Vehicles with high beam headlights on during the day. This is done to identify with other members of the stalking and harassment groups. Members of these stalking and harassment groups reversing their vehicle in front of the target's home. Members of the stalking and harassment groups pulling in on streets or side street setting, or backing up repeatedly. Organized gang stalking on foot methods. Synchronized arrival and exiting by neighbors. Anchoring. Intentionally leaving vehicle doors open around the target, which is a form of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, street theater or harassment skits played out in front of the target. Directed conversation. Following the target. Glaring or pointing at the target. Intentional coughing at or around the target. Jangling keys around the target. Use of gestures such as lip licking. Arm gestures. You will see members of these stalking and harassment groups using certain gestures such as touching or bringing their hand to their face or nose while around a target. These gestures are done to sensitize the target to these gestures. Most members of these groups have already been sensitized to these gestures themselves. Other gestures include members of these stalking and harassment groups holding their arms out of their vehicle windows while driving by a target, or pulling up beside a target. This is also done while the target is on foot. Shining high beam headlights on the target while target is walking. Using directed conversation while on cell phone while around the target. Engaging the target in trivial conversation.